Dunedin Pizza parlour, Biggies, is turning away customers who've been in Auckland because of concerns over the spread of Covid-19, but says it's not a blanket ban. A couple posting on social media claimed a staffer at Biggies Pizza questioned them about whether they were from Auckland and if they've travelled from overseas, and then refused to serve them because they'd been in the super city 16 days earlier. Health authorities say the Auckland community cluster of 54 cases is contained, but the city remains at level 2.5, while the rest of the country is at alert level 2. Biggie's owner, Tacey Millard, says it's a small venue and the health and wellbeing of her staff is a top priority. She explains her policy on Aucklanders visiting the restaurant.
Each of our customers that enter are judged on a case-by-case basis. We certainly do not have a blanket ban on Aucklanders. Our restaurant manager asks 3 simple questions when people want to come in. One is, had you been travelling and where? Another is, have you been in Auckland? And another is, have you had any COVID symptoms? Now, depending upon the answers to those questions and the attitude of the customers, because obviously we run this on a very high trust level because people can lie to questions. And we make a decision on whether we consider it to be safe to have these people dine as customers in our tiny little restaurant.
Okay, so there's a few things there, Tacey. Let's start with where have you been travelling and if you've been in Auckland. If they say I've been travelling and I've been in Auckland, do they get in?
So we look to minimise risk, so we're looking for that 14-day period. Now, the people who who wanted to come in for drinks last night, they had been outside of Auckland for 2 weeks plus 3 days. But they were exceedingly rude to my restaurant manager when she asked questions and were not interested in being helpful at all. So she made the judgment call not to have them dine with us. We have a tiny restaurant and we are under social distancing regulations at the moment, so we've got a lot of tables closed. And our staff are our family, and our loyal customers who are coming every week are our family too. And we look to protect them.
So those customers were rejected on the basis that they had an attitude problem rather than that they had visited Auckland. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I guess it's a combination of both. And we have had a handful of Auckland people come through. And in similar circumstances, people have been lovely and understood the decision made and been perfectly happy with it. I guess it's an indication of the attitude of these customers that they immediately posted scathing reviews and went straight to the media.
Okay, well, let's put those customers aside for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to be indicating that you are turning away people on the basis that they have come from Auckland. So have you turned away other people because they've been in Auckland or they've visited Auckland or they're Aucklanders?
Yes. At this point in time, there's still community transmission in Auckland, and we consider that to put us at a high risk.
So, well, those Aucklanders are legally able to travel and they can go anywhere in the country.
Yes.
And
although aren't they supposed to be maintaining their 2.5 status?
Yeah, so that means that they can gather in groups of 10. So as long as they came to your restaurant and weren't wanting to seat 12 people at a table, then they would be operating inside the rules. So why have you introduced extra rules?
We've introduced extra rules because we have a very small venue. We've had a drop in our turnover by over 2/3 due to the lockdown levels. There are other venues in town that have had to close because a staff member or a customer has had to go and get COVID testing. And to be fair, if we had to close, that would probably be the straw that broke the camel's back.
But is business good enough that you can pick and choose to turn some customers away because they're from Auckland?
Business is difficult, really difficult at the moment, and we have to make decisions that support our business long term, and support our business at the moment. We have a really close knit family of staff, and we value their health and wellbeing at the top priority. I don't know that it's in introducing any extra rules because, contrary to popular belief, restaurants and bars are not public property, they're private property, and we have right of refusal for any reason that is not discriminatory.
Yeah, so if an Aucklander or someone who says they've been in Auckland turns up and they don't have any symptoms of COVID,
Yes.
then I'm trying to understand why they wouldn't be welcome.
Because there is active community transmission in Auckland, and we wish to minimise the risk to our staff and customers by not having somebody dine in our premises if they have been in Auckland within the last 2 weeks.
So you are afraid that they will bring COVID into your restaurant?
Fear is a very high factor during this global pandemic, wouldn't you think?
So do you have a mix of managers, or is it always the same person on the door who's asking the questions?
We have one restaurant manager who works every day that we have the restaurant open at this point, and she is in charge of making those decisions.
Okay, so she makes those decisions based on what she hears from the customers?
Yes.
Do you think it's a fair system?
I do, yes. We have incredibly professional and kind staff here who are trying to keep everybody happy and look after everybody in the best way they can. And we are getting an exceeding amount of negative feedback from fake reviews and direct messages, text messages to our restaurant phone, abusive messages. And I feel that she has done exactly what I have asked of her, and I am very happy with how professional she has been and how kind and generous she is to all of our customers.
So, Tacey, are you getting threats?
Are we getting threats? Well, yes, we're getting threats. People are saying that they will tell all of their friends and family not to attend.
Okay, so if Aucklanders are in the area and they can't come and dine in the restaurant, can they still get some takeaways?
We can absolutely deliver to them. We offer contactless delivery. We, unfortunately, would probably not want them to hang around the restaurant if they wanted to pick up, but I would be happy for them to place an order, and then we would give them contactless handover of that delivery. We'll give them a call when it was ready and they could come and grab it.